Mini episode 1259 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge mini episode 1259. I'm FDH Managing Partner Rick Morris here with our preview of Yellowstone episode 3.7. Here's our top 5 notes of interest heading into the season's 7th episode. Number 5. How is Jimmy going to adjust to post-rodeo life? He's pretty much the protagonist of the bunkhouse subplots on this show, and even though he's delighting in his new girlfriend, he is still at loose ends for where his life is going to go from here. Number 4. Monica's passion for serving her people is reignited by tragedy. Will this pull her away from the Duttons once again? This time around, her father-in-law may be a bit more sympathetic toward her efforts, especially on behalf of her gender, since he's just found out how his own daughter was rendered sterile by his son's duplicity. At any rate, it introduces further potential complications into Monica's home life, complications that we had to know were coming in some form or fashion. Number 3. So now we find out that Wade Morrow is an old adversary of John's and he's being used to stir up trouble at the ranch. He's not the kind of guy that John has to break a sweat dealing with under normal circumstances, but with the family about to go to war, he could be the kind of distraction they can't afford. Number 2. Beth finally told her father the deep, dark secret about Jamie. Now that their dad has confronted Jamie, this simmering family hatred threatens to rip the Duttons apart, right as Jamie holds a lot of the family's fate in his hands as the state attorney general. Things look grim, especially since John seems ready to throw in the towel regarding the future, since he thinks that he'll never have more than one grandchild left to fight to preserve the ranch alone, not knowing that Jamie secretly got a baby on the way. Will that kid become a trump card somehow in this revived intra-family war? Number 1. Not getting anywhere with Beth, the developers move on to dealing with Jamie, and that is much more fertile ground. A price tag in the mid-9 figures turned his head just like they figured that it might. Jamie is clearly the weak link in the Dutton family chain in more ways than one in terms of his greed and the fact that his father no longer even barely tolerates him. If a house divided against itself cannot stand, neither can a ranch. The trailer for the late season action indicates, unsurprisingly, that we're in for a lot of excitement between now and the end of the season, and it's hard to believe that a season 4 could find the Duttons having to deal with the loss of their ranch. But the developers are counterpunching and they're deadly serious. Time for everyone to buckle up. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.